Yuusha Dagwon is the seventh entry in the Brave franchise, a series of unrelated super robot anime. Instead of featuring protagonists who let their sentient, mechanical companions take control of the action, Dagwon is closer to Super Sentai, pitting its heroes directly against their enemies in power suits and transforming machines. It's an enjoyable mix of action and comedy with some decent character development. However, this entry prioritizes action far more than its predecessors. Similar to Super Sentai shows, or the few that I've seen, it revolves around 6 primary archetypal characters. For example, En is your free-spirited hero, Kai cares too much about the rules, Geki is the tough guy with a kind heart, Shin is the flirt, Yoku is smart, and Ryu is gentle and mysterious. Although I don't consider trope characters inherently bad, they heavily rely on creative circumstances to play them off each other. In an episodic anime that prioritizes combat with minor villains, you may find yourself longing for more substance. Dagwon could have been a much more enjoyable experience if they removed some of the less important episodes or just used a split episode format to prioritize its characters more. I don't say this because I didn't like them. In fact, I thought many of them had potential. I enjoyed seeing En and Maria, his occult-obsessed friends, squabble with each other as she unknowingly hunts down clues pertaining to whatever weekly trouble awaits. I thought they had a great dynamic that really came to shine in its last quarter. I also enjoyed Ryu because he reminded me of Shiryu from Saint Seiya. Basically, the characters are likable, and you'll probably enjoy them if you've enjoyed similar characters in other anime. Unfortunately, while many of them grew on me, there's not enough developmental episodes. This is exacerbated by the power creep being bound to the introduction of new characters, some of which are more fleshed out than our heroes. For example, one of my favorites was Lion, a sentient robot on Earth looking to avenge the destruction of his home planet. There are so many characters, but not enough direct focus on them to maximize their potential. It's a shame because I'm more partial to Super Sentai themed anime than the TV shows themselves. Maybe it's my inexperience, but it's just hard to get over the latex. At least in Dagwon, their power suits actually perform a function in combat and look like an awesome set of armor. In terms of combat, I enjoyed most of what the anime offers. I love the power suits, mech designs, epic special attacks, and the variety of enemies. Because the premise is teens defending Earth from escaped space convicts, there's a wide variety of enemies. The kaiju have unique special abilities to keep things interesting. Some conflicts were comical, such as the monster whose snoring puts all of Japan to sleep, and others are more serious, such as the aliens who look inspired by the Devilman universe. The only thing I didn't like was the mini space arc. It's the only time in the Yuusha franchise I felt was a blatant advertisement. The Dagwon Command Center is the most pitiful excuse for a mech I've ever seen. Even its anime version looks like it would have poor articulation. It looks like the type of toy you'd get from your grandma because it was big and on clearance, but so poorly designed that it makes you want to put your childhood away and do taxes. This thing has 3 modes and they all look the same. When it sits down, it's a command center. When it stands up, it's a robot. When it lays flat on its face, it's a spaceship. It's such a poor design that the one scene where it did something besides float around, you can only see its arms. They knew all of the creativity in the world can't make this thing believable. Yuusha Dagwon is a fun anime that's a bit slow at first, but continuously gets better once it hits its stride around the halfway point. It's also got an awesome ending filled with suspense, drama, and heartfelt bonding. I'm not sure why they needed to make the follow-up 2-episode OVA though. It's got an interesting and mysterious premise of a young boy hunted by aliens, but it felt like it needed 2 more episodes to flesh out because of its rushed plot progression. While some scenes look absolutely beautiful with its flashy new power suits and amazing alien animations, unfortunately others felt incredibly rushed and its climax was terribly underwhelming. It's still worth checking out if you finish the series, but keep your expectations low. Overall, I give Yuusha Dagwon a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's worth a try if you're into super robots or Super Sentai shows. If you have any character-driven Sentai shows you'd like to recommend, leave me a comment. Thanks to those you see here for supporting these videos on Patreon, and a special thanks to Nia-chan and Aikawa for 3rd tier support. I'll see you next time with either Gao Gai Gar or Gege no Kitaro. What a mouthful.